Come in, come in, come in. Hello, how are you? Come in, everybody. We got about 3 minutes before we get started. So I want everybody to come in and get settled in for tonight. We're going to have a nice session. I'll be on camera 1 second. As usual, I got to go ahead over on Facebook to make sure everybody can see and share the link to the Zoom. So let me get that so everybody can get in here, share the link to the Zoom. Tonight is the one of the nights that we're going to be starting. We started last week about our sessions about strategic planning for 2025. Yes, 2025. And tonight we're going to go a little bit deeper into it. We're going to talk about some things that are going to be awesome for us as business owners. So come in and like and share, like and share, like and share, like and share. And I think now in Facebook, you'll be able to go ahead and like and share the post. Um, Let me go and see if is this going to be on. I don't know if it's there or not. Looks like it's a problem with Instagram, but that's okay. I'll see if I can fix it. If I can't, I will do my best next time. So let me see if I can fix it. Let me see if I can fix it. I think I might be able to fix this. So give me 1 second on Instagram. So it might have a little delay. Might have a little delay so I can get the Instagram going. So let me see. Audience public. Okay, next. All right, let me see if I can get this Instagram linked up. Let's see. If I can get it linked up, then we're all good. I think it's coming now. Looks like it's coming now. So let's see. Awesome. I think it's there now. Awesome. So let me let you guys see my face. I'm put my glasses on all at the same time. Here we go. It's me putting my glasses on. How are you? How are you, everybody? So come on in, like and share. I think the only place I need to make sure that I have the link in here is on Instagram. I did it already in Facebook, as well as on my Facebook group as well. So come in and let's have at it. I hope you guys had a great week so far. I know it was a holiday Monday, so I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday and are ready to really work, ready and willing to work for this year, to make next year a better year. So come on in, like and share, and I think I have everybody up and running. Awesome. 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 So, I want you to know that, this is this sessions are going to be recorded. So, so come in to the chat room, come into on the social media post, come into the Zoom. I really will love for you guys to come in here. I like to see people. So come in and we can absolutely answer your questions live while you're here. You should be able to see my screen real soon. So hopefully you'll be able to see it real soon. I just shared it. It looks like it's saying to share, so it may be a little delay. So awesome. So thank you for coming in tonight. And thank you for coming in tonight. So, oh man, tonight it's going to be a good night. And it's all about leadership tonight. Okay. It's really all about leadership and the leaders that we are, and how we're going to make 2025 a better year in the role of the leader in it. So it's about strategic leadership and planning for 2025 with your core values in mind. we've been talking about this, about how core values are playing a bigger role in decision making, as well as in being able to keep key personnel, and keeping and attracting good personnel as well. So I want you guys to come in, and I would like to welcome you here. I want to welcome you to tonight's session of Ask a Coach with me, Rolanda Michele. I want you to come in, like I said, like it and share, and have a seat, because tonight's session we're going to really dig into the strategic planning series. And if you missed last week, no worries. You can absolutely go back and see it, and other ones as well, by going to my social media pages. So what I'll do now in the beginning of this session is give you that information so you can absolutely go in and go into the social media, to my bio, and follow everything in social media. There's some things about my company as well in there. So you can learn about that and learn about classes. So it's a lot of stuff that's in there, that in my bio, that you can dig into and learn a little bit more about me. If you are on Instagram, I know sometimes the picture looks a little weird on Instagram. So what I would tell you to do, and I would ask you to do, is come in to the actual Zoom room, and you'll be able to see everything better. So come in, because again, the night is going to be a great night. And there's a lot to share tonight with you guys. So I want you to say, all right, we're here. We're going to go into it. So I want to explain the importance of the why, explaining, a planning. We talked about planning. I want to understand the why it's important to all organizations. We did that, and I am adding. I want to add some more in tonight. So tonight we're going to go and dig into strategic leadership for 2025. In this session tonight, we'll discuss how to create a forward-looking strategy for the new year, and ensuring it is grounded in your core values and respect and operational efficiencies. The one thing I want to say is that tonight's focus is on the leadership role of it, because it's important that you as the leaders in your organization, understand why you're doing this. Because if you don't understand why you're doing it and you don't buy in, I'll say it over and over again, you're not going to get anybody in your team to do so as well. So let's go ahead and get into the information. So let's talk about it tonight, right? So strategic planning, like what makes a leader strategic, right? A strategic leadership, or strategic leadership, is about balancing the big picture, right? And thinking about operational precision. Like, so a strategic leader is a visionary, right? And they see the vision. They're focused on the long term, but they also respect the people and the resources that they have, and they ensure that every discussion, every decision is both thoughtful and efficient, right? Because as being a strategic leader, we understand that it's the people in our organizations that make us, prosper, right? We want to make sure that we understand the value of them, and we're aligning with our objectives and our business objectives. But we also need to take in consideration that these are people, and I say this all the time, these are people that make organizations, not just the processes, right? You have these processes that's going on, and if you have the process, okay, but you need people to do it. So you need to understand why it's important, in being a strategic leader uh, is thoughtful about that too, as well as understanding who you are as an organization. So, what are the core values of, as like, what are the core values? Because everybody should have core values in your organization. But I want to just say, your core values, as your foundation of your strategy, using those core values as the foundation. Okay. Again, this is about having that change of pace, what we talked about a few weeks ago, about how the people are making a lot more decisions based off of values of the organizations. And most organizations have values, but they may not put them out front. And this is about putting them out front and living your values. So your core values act as a compass for your strategic plan, right? It keeps you go ahead of where you're going to go. You're due north. Your values, like having values like respect and efficiency, operational efficiencies, like we do. Well, we have a core value of operational efficiency, but we have a lot of people focus core values inside of our organization. Um, they don't just guide the inner part of it, it also shapes every business decision that we do. And it builds trust for the long term. Not, like I said, not just internally, but externally. Because your values should not just be something that you do. You respect, if respect is one of your values, it shouldn't be just something that you do internally or externally. It's something that you should be doing on both sides of it, internal and external, to your customers, to your clients, as well as into the people and the resources that are inside of your organization. So when we're talking about your core values, they matter. They matter because they should be, like I said, your due north. They should be your compass. They should be what directs everything that you're doing. You should not go against the grain, right? It's about making sure that everything is aligned. Everything that you're doing is aligned. And I think that should make sense. And the other thing about creating SMART goals, and which are important, but we want to make sure some of your SMART goals are value aligned for growth, right? So SMART goals provide that clarity. Like, we talk about SMART goals all the time. I just saw a bunch of posts on LinkedIn today about SMART goals from other people about different things. Well, make one SMART goal a day this month and do it, right? Everybody's talking about SMART goals, but when I'm talking about it as a strategic leadership, you want to make sure that you have these SMART goals that are aligned, that are, they're value based and they're aligned to your growth, right? Because SMART goals will clarify that plan of yours, that strategic plan of yours, and it makes sure that your goal is specific, and actionable and measurable. And I know I'm not saying it in the right order, relevant and time bound, but most importantly, it ensures that your goal is reflecting your values. It's reflecting your values of your respect, of value, humanity, whatever it is that your core values are as you're in your organization. You want to make sure that when you're setting these goals, that these goals are aligned to those values as well as to those growth objectives as well. It takes it. I won't even say it takes a long time to do it. It's just part of when you're evaluating your business objectives and goals and looking at everything. And it's just one more thing to look at the time, and organ and and thinking about it at the time. It's not something that is going to take so much time out of your day to do it. So I would say it is not a time suck, and it's a total value add. When it comes to building your strategic plan, it's a total value add. I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't think it was, or I haven't seen it being um valuable. And it's not just what I see, what I think. It's there is research about this that's out there, that you can tap into yourself. And like I said, like you Reading Rainbow said, don't take my word for it, right? That's what LeVar Burton said. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can absolutely go out there and find resources showing you that this is a valuable action. So we talked about this last week. We talked about this last week when it came down to success stories and strategic planning, how it drove your growth, right? How it could drove growth in with larger organizations, right? And I went into it in a lot of detail last week. However, I felt it was worth repeating and worth mentioning this week because major companies don't magically become that way. They don't just magically, automatically just close their eyes and all of a sudden they're the Apple, they're the Microsoft, they're the Starbucks. It takes a lot of planning. They use strategic planning to get them there, right? Apple and Starbucks show how strategic, this is one I used last week. They show how strategic planning um um that respects their core values leads to consistent growth in and becoming industry leaders, right? like we said, Apple values innovation strategy. They have an innovation strategy, and that thrives because it aligns with long-term commitment to creativity. And we talked about Starbucks success comes from balancing aggressive expansion with ethical. Remember, seeking ethical resources and value-driven decision making. So, I mean, you can go last week, go to last week, and we go into a lot more on what they did. But it's just I wanted to bring that example back to let you guys understand that this is not something that I'm saying to you for just for you to do it. These are companies that are very large, very successful, and they have this strategic. They use strategic planning and use value based and use their values to drive their decisions because they're staying core. They're staying close to their core values as they move forward and grow. And they use them actually to grow. They use them to grow. Another thing we talked about last week, and I want to get into more detail about this because we went over it a little bit, right? But I want to expand on it. So as leaders, it's important to fully understand not only the what you are doing, like I said, but the why you're doing it. You can't get your teams to buy into something if you're not sold on it, right? So if you're not sold on it, how can you get your team to do it? And this is all this conversation that we're having tonight is about absolutely you as the leader understanding your role in this, understanding the why in this, and getting yourself aligned as you go out to do this with your teams. So let's talk about it because like we talked about it a little bit last week. I didn't dig into it. So I'm going to explain each one of these things a little bit more if that might help. So when I'm talking about why is important, because these are pitfalls, these are things that if you don't plan, these are things that can happen and often happen in organizations that don't take that moment to plan. Short-term thinking and firefighting. You know, like I said, it says on there reactive versus proactive, right? Many businesses without strategic plan need to focus only on immediate problems, right? They tend to focus, right, on immediate problems, and they consistently put out fires. They're always looking at fires. There's always a fire alarm going off rather than investing in long-term growth, right? Because that becomes stagnant. This reactive approach drains the resources. It drains your time, and it makes it harder for you to focus on future development. If you have so many fires, how can you take a moment and do it? There's only 24 hours in a day. Even if you don't sleep at all, there's still only 24 hours in a day. So if you're putting out fires for 24 hours in a day, you have no time to do the planning for that growth. When you don't take the time to plan, then you have the lack of vision, right? The lack of vision and direction, right? And without strategic planning and without a strategic plan to guide the decisions, because your strategic plan helps you guide to where you're going to go. And anything that pops up, even those fires, are made based off of that strategic plan. I'm not saying that fires won't come, but that plan will absolutely have a cohesiveness, keep everything cohesive as you're making the decisions of the year. And it keeps the direction going in the way that you want it to go. So businesses often lack a clear vision when they don't have a strategic plan, and it causes confusion, right? It results in conflicting priorities. Well, I don't know if everything's a high priority, nothing is. I said this before. I think you probably heard it somewhere, probably again somewhere else. But this leads to missed opportunities, right? Or it can have directionless growth. I actually work with someone and they have growth in their organization and they work but because they don't do the planning, it's like a happenstance. They just lucky. But this is not going to be about luck. It's going to be about strategy. And if you apply strategy, if you were just that lucky just because, what would happen if you apply some level of strategy to it? Then you have the inconsistent growth, right? The stalled growth. Like when companies don't have that structured or defined milestones, that direction for growth, it tends to be unpredictable, right? The absence of the strategy to measure the progress, to measure where you're going to see from I was here until I'm here, right? It leads to inconsistency, it's in your growth, in market presence, in innovation, and stall. Like your business can actually stall, right? You may break even or you might even start declining. So this is important to your business when you're thinking about having, when you're thinking about strategic planning as the leader. I want to tell you these are the things that we want to avoid, and that's what strategic planning is going to do. Misaligned resources and waste of effort. Listen, with the lack of strategy and focus, that means your resources, whether they're human, they're financial, the technological, it doesn't matter what these resources are, right? They're not aligned for the long-term objectives, right? The efforts are often like splintered off, right? The efforts are spent on initiatives that are not moving the needle, right, towards that meaningful growth that you want in as a business owner, as a business leader. And I'm not talking about people that are just entrepreneurs here. This is not an entrepreneur conversation. This is a business leader conversation. So that means that if you work for someone else and you're in a leadership position, you need to understand what strategic planning actually means to your organization as well, and understand where your part is as a leader in it. All right, departmental leader, organizational leader, it doesn't matter. This is important for a company to grow. um Missed opportunities. Next is missed opportunities, and I want to talk like, I think without proper market analysis and forecasting, businesses often overlook trends, right? And they often uh they miss opportunities that actually could help them expand and grow. So competitors who do have who do have a strategic approach will capture that opportunity and you'll leave you behind, right? And that's leaving you in that reactive state, right? As opposed to being in a proactive state. And we don't want that for our businesses, right? And then there's decreased employee engagement. Let's think about that. They become disillusioned, right? Because employees need to understand the long-term direction of your organization, of your company, to feel motivated and also to feel connected to it, and it connected to their work. And I know sometimes you might sit there and say, well, they're not needed in this decision-making process. Maybe they're not needed in that decision-making process, but why won't you just ask them? Because maybe they're not needed. Maybe they're not going to be making the final decision, but their input is so valuable that it's beyond words. Okay. So without the clear strategy, teams can become disillusioned, resulting in lower productivity and higher turnover. So we don't want those things, right? We do. It takes a long time to find people and get them ready to where do we want them to go. So I would say that we want to keep them engaged, and that doesn't hurt. Memos and emails and town halls. These are all things that you can do to keep your staff and everybody aligned with where you're going in the organization. Okay. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do, not at all. So let's dig into this one, right? So we're going to be talking about empowering leaders for strategic success in 2025, right? I want to empower you, right? I told you what not to do. I want to empower you. So as a strategic leader, like I said, you played a critical role. You play a big role in shaping the future of the organizations that you are running or that you were in. Strategic leadership isn't just about creating long-term goals, but it's about aligning, right? Aligning those goals with your organization's core values and empowering your team to work together, right? Empowering your team to work together towards them, and um, towards them, not just because you're just working together towards them, but working towards them with confidence and clarity. They have the vision, they got it, and they're there. They're working towards it. So it's more than that. It's more than just, oh, hey, here's the plan, go ahead and execute it, right? So the first step you need to do is ensure that like every decision is guided by that. First of all, you need to make the decision that every other decision, every business decision will be guided by your organization's values, right? And we talk about respect, humanity. There's a lot of other things, communication, transparency. There's a lot of values that your organization may choose from, but whatever ones are yours. But you need to make sure that those values are embedded into your organization and your decisions are guided by those. This alignment, this alignment um, creates like a strong foundation of trust, foundation for trust, both within your internal and external stakeholders, right? A well-anchored leadership vision, right? A well-anchored leadership vision, it gives everyone in the organization like a sense of direction and a sense of purpose. It makes it easier to navigate your challenges, navigate even things that might pop up that you wouldn't even imagine. Like, we think about it, like it's always in the back of our head, like what happened with COVID. Oh my God. Like, that was something that we weren't expecting. But if you have this direction, you'll be able to pivot and do those things easier. So let me just say, we're going to talk about the next couple of slides about this. We just started here about the empowering, how to empower your leaders for in strategic planning. So we're going to move on. And then the next thing I want to talk about is when it comes down to this is um, fostering a team collaboration and accountability is also crucial, right? So as leaders, you must create a culture where everyone feels valued, empowered, and clear in their roles. Everybody needs to know what they are doing. They need to feel that you value their opinion, you value them as human beings, them as people that are working in your organization. Because without them, if you are the business leaders, you would not have a business without them. Okay. People say servant leader. Absolutely. Servant leader is absolutely a word that we need to think about when we're talking about these things. Servant leader. So when everybody feels empowered, that's a good thing, right? So when operational efficiency is integrated with respect, or for the individual's contribution and team performance naturally improves, right? When you respect them, they actually improve. So you set clear, measurable goals, like we talked about before, and ensure your team is they align with these objectives, like with open communication, with sharing accountability, with transparency, right? With just being transparent about it, this will absolutely help you as an organization. When it thinks about the leaders, these are things that you can do and things that you need to think about when you're talking about being a strategic leader, right? Um, so the next thing I want to say is like when we're talking about this is uh I was going to say scenario planning, right? Scenario planning. And with scenario planning, go back one, sorry. With scenario planning, there is something to that, right? Because what it does is prepare your team with the mindset and the foresees like it could be some challenges, right? So scenario planning has been more important, like it becomes more important than ever, right? Strategic leaders need to think beyond today and prepare for tomorrow, because we need to consider some situations that could be happening inside of the world, inside of our organizations themselves. Just say like if there was an elderly CEO, there's some businesses out here with some elderly CEOs. You never know what will happen with someone that's being elderly. You can think about the way the economy is, that we need to think about when it comes to scenario planning. The Okay, this candidate wins over this candidate. These are all things that we need to think about. Like we're not talking about just what's happening in front of our faces today. We need to think about all the different possibilities that can happen in the future. And this type of forward thinking allows you to pivot, right? It lets you move swiftly and make informed decisions, ensuring that your business remains resilient. It needs to remain resilient, even when you're facing uncertain times, right? Leadership requires adaptability, agility, and you have to be that yourselves and show that and um it's because if you don't, you have to show, you have to show your team what you need and what you're looking for, right? So you need to do that. Um because it's important to make sure that you are absolutely um thinking about what could possibly happen, right? What could possibly happen. So business, the landscape, the economy, where we working in, everything. It doesn't matter where you are, what industry you're in. It is ever evolving, ever changing. And with scenario planning, it will help you adapt to things that are coming into play. And another thing I want to talk about here is continuous feedback loops. Oh my goodness, they're so important, so important. As a leader, the most valuable tool that you could possibly have is getting feedback. By fostering real-time feedback from your team and external environment and external environments, your customers, you can lead proactively, right? Because they'll see things maybe before you get to see it, right? Because when people are in the trenches, they see things that the leaders above them don't see. So that feedback is absolutely valuable to you. So you can be proactive in decision making of, okay, this is coming down the line, right? Rather than you being reactive to, oh wow, this just slapped us in the face. It hurts, and let me figure out what I'm going to do now. You are able to listen to them and grow your business. This is a constant stream of insight. Like this will always be insight of what's going on outside, what's going on with your competitors, what's going on inside, right? And it allows you for a quicker course correction if something is going off scales. Hey, well, you know what? Everybody else's prices aren't like this, and it's not cost effective for me. And you go, okay, let me look and see. Maybe there's some way you can adjust the price. Maybe there is some way. Well, you can add another service, or this person is doing something else, or this company is doing this other thing, and you can look and see where there's opportunities to course correct where you may be going off. But also there is an opportunity for you to see a way to maybe innovate or add services or add products that they're already asking for. The best thing for you to do when you have feedback like that is especially from your customers, and they say, oh, you know what, if you could just have this other thing, you already have a built-in customer for a product. You know what I mean? If you wanted to do it. So when you're thinking about this feedback and having this feedback, it's great. You can be innovative. You can course correct some issues. All of this while you're staying true to your core mission, your core objectives for the year, for the long term. Remember, your strategic plan is not a static document, right? It's not a static document. It's a living, breathing framework that evolves with your organization. It is not something that you want to say, oh, well, we're done it. It is. Things may change. You need to be able to evolve. It's a way of ensuring that you're going in the right direction. So by focusing on these elements, vision and alignment and team collaboration, um, ability, adaptability, agility, and scenario planning, right? And a data-driven approach to measuring success, because it's where we need to have a data-driven approach to measuring your success. You position your organization to thrive in 2025 and beyond, not just today, tomorrow as well, because these measurable success, this measurable things that you're going to do, your KPIs, right? These are going to help guide your organization forward, because you'll be able to see, did we make it, or we didn't, or did we not? Are we a little off? Can we make some adjustments to make it there? Your position, you position your organization um to 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 maximize its ability to grow, right? And as a leader, the balance between empowering your team and making strategic decisions is what ultimately drives success and sustainability, right? The stronger the foundation that you build today, it, the more prepared, I would say, your organizationally, like your whole organization will be able to seize opportunities and overcome challenges in the future. So it's not like something that you're doing strategic planning. It's not just for today, it's for tomorrow. It's about positioning your organization to move forward um from where you are to the next step to the next step. Like, you can like there's not just for it's not just today, right? And it's not stagnant. It grows with you. So that's why you need to evaluate it and do some strategic planning yearly, quarterly, looking at it, however often you need to look at it, so you can make sure you're there. Now let's think about this, embedding operational efficiencies into your 2025 plan. We want to be efficient, right? We want to be efficient and we want to be also effective. Operational efficiencies should be one of the core things in your plan, right? To make sure you're running efficiently and effectively. Focus on streamlining some of those workflows that you have, right? Because sometimes there are redundancies there. Removing the redundancies uh, leveraging technology to ensure every process respects both time and resources, right? And efficient operations allows you to execute your strategic vision, right, more effectively, right? You want to be efficient with it. If there's ways that you can automate some services, because this understand is when you automate certain things, you know that it's going to be repeatable. And that doesn't mean that you're automating people out of jobs. It's just the fact that this is something that's very tedious and redundant. It's the same thing over and over again. Have a machine do that, have a system do that, and then have the people use their brains where you need brains, right? Because we do like brains. We do like the human touch of it. So, when you're thinking about it, let's think about, at like where as a leader you want to be strategically thinking of where can I streamline? How can we become more productive? And I'm not talking about becoming more productive by saying, oh, we need to produce 8,000 more every person every day. And when and you're like, they're just barely making it, right? And adding on to your people because you don't want to stress your people out. But being efficient about it is maybe moving some things around using technology where it's possible. That is important to an organization of being able to use technology the way in the best way that you can. Um, so when we're talking about this, respecting your pillars, right? A core pillar, respect is a core pillar. Um, I think respect is a you know, it might be something that people might say is one of those soft skills, soft things, but respect is very important as a core leadership value. Like even if it's not necessarily a value that the organization may not put up and put forth. I think respect as a leader is something that you should have as a value as a leader. It needs to be in you. I mean, let me just say this: if you're with me and on my team, if respect is not one of your personal core pillars, you will not work in my organization because that's what we do. Okay, so respect is more than just a value, right? It's a strategic tool for leadership. Okay, leaders who prioritize respect and build stronger and engaged teams. So it's not just something that just something I've been saying it to just throw away. I understand that building teams, it needs to be, they need to be respected. I've been on teams where I wasn't respected, and guess what? Guess who left? I did. So, which leads, when you think about this, which leads to this other point that when you have respect, the greater collaboration and innovation you will get out of your teams. It's not just something that you say. It's really important as if you don't understand that these are individuals, these are people that are on your teams. Um, you're losing you're losing a big piece of motivation for them, right? Ensure that respect is constant, right? In your leadership decisions, it's constant in the way you in your rapport. Um, it's important as a leader. Like I said, even if you're not making all the decisions, maybe you're not the CEO or the COO, but even if you were a vice president or a director or a manager or a supervisor, right, a team lead, you're a leader. And respect is something that is so important if you're trying to foster and build good teams, right? So now let's think about this, all right? I always try to give you guys something for like what your next step should be, right? So if you're thinking about this and want to just take a moment and think about it a little bit to kick off 2025 successfully, I would say I want you to start by auditing your core values and aligning them um, with specific SMART goals, right? Um, Let me just say this framework that I'm talking about, this is a framework that, like I said last week, and it's a framework that my organization that we're doing and we do inside of our organization to ensure that we strategically plan for 1 year, to the next year. Um, you know, I know people had a hard time in 2024, but that's okay. 2025 is right around the corner. So make sure that you do an audit, right? And then make sure that they all align with them, right? Make sure your strategy is both flexible and efficient and balancing long-term visions and your operational discipline, right? So I would say also like, when you're doing your audit, set 3 to 5 SMART goals, right? Um, don't have to be a lot, but just make sure you have a SMART goals and then you can build your plan around those things. Like I said, create a flexibility and value aligned plan, right? You want to make sure everything is value aligned and build the operational efficiency measures inside of it. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're being effective and efficient in that. So when you're thinking about 2025 planning, these are 4 things that I would tell you to start with, right? Now I'm not. Did this do everything? No. But if you took what I gave you last week, take what I'm giving you this week, and everything that I'm going to give you for the next few weeks that we're talking about this, um, you'll be able to make a good plan. You'll be able to be strategic about 2025, um, because you're taking that step. You're taking that extra step. Can I promise you that you're going to have all these results? I can't promise you that. Let me tell you why. Because I don't know if you're going to go through and do it. I can't promise you that. I need to know, if we were working with you and we were implementing it for you, probably so. But I can't promise you that it's going to happen that way because I'm not there. But I do know one thing, that if you do these things and then you'll be in a position to have a better 2025 than 2024. And I do know and promise you that if you do it, that you'll probably see better results. And even if you don't, like I said, see maybe exactly the results you thought you were or you were planning to do, you will see movement and growth and education and strength and confidence in your leadership. Absolutely. So let me just talk about it. So here we are. How can I help you? Like I was saying, I gave you those couple of things there. I'm here. We are a consultancy. I do coaching, and we have workshops. We people put us on retainer to help them through these processes as thought leaders, right? So we do strategic consulting that will assist you with creating that your 2025 plan, right? We can absolutely help you do that. We do coaching that supports professional development within, for you or inside of your organization. I know some organizations, hire coaches like me to come in and listen, I've seen it, I experienced it, that you can hire a coach to come in to help your team grow in professional development and whatever type of skills training that they need, maybe soft skills or something like that. Workshops that will align with your organization's visions. Maybe it's like if you're switching from being if you're building in these value-based decision-making processes, having workshops will help you get everybody to understand, especially your leaders, to understand why you're doing it, what you're doing it, and then also understanding what this means to you and help you develop those workshops and that training. We will help develop workshops and training courses, whatever it is that you might need to support you in your organization. Listen, we're Thomas and Lee Business Solutions, and we're going to find a solution for you. Okay. And like I said, in ongoing support, we do that. We're there to monitor and grow, so you can grow with all of that. We that's what we do, right? So I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. They're like, all right, that's a lot, lady. I understand that. And so this is what I want you to do. If you're ready, if you're ready, to take the next step, if you want to just learn a little bit more, I invite you to come in, schedule a free discovery call with me, and just talk about it, right? Just talk about it. Talk about what are you thinking about, or in your organization. Um, Talk about the direction that you want to go inside of your organization. Let's do that, right? Let's do that. What I will say is this, is that it can't hurt, right? It can't hurt. It only can help you in your organization build and grow, where you need to grow, where you want to go. And that's what we're here. That's what we do. That's what we absolutely do. It's not going to cost you anything except for a few moments of your time. So you can use the QR code that's on the screen, or you can use the link that's been put in the chat to schedule your discovery call. And we'll talk about how we can do what we can do to help you, or just listen in, and see if there is an opportunity for us to help you. It may not be something that that we can do for you, right? But we'll maybe have a way of possibly, maybe there's an affiliate that we might have that could help you, because I don't have a problem with that. I understand that when it comes down to a coach, coming down to a consultancy, everyone isn't created equal, and like I said, we have our values as well. So we want to make sure that we're working with people that are aligned with our values as well, just the same way that I'm telling you to do that as well. So I'm not trying to tell you to do anything that we don't do ourselves. So come on in and do this, schedule your discovery call, and we will absolutely talk it through, learn more about you, see where you want to go, give you some ideas. There's nothing hard, there's nothing wrong with a conversation. This is not a sales pitch. Like I said, when I say it's a discovery call, it's just a conversation. It's just discovering who I am, discovering who you are. And maybe the time is not right. That's okay. Like I said, my tagline is passion to profit, and I tell everybody it's my passion to help people. So, and having a conversation doesn't hurt me, not one bit, not one bit. So please use the QR code. Go ahead and use the thing, and go ahead and use the link in there, and please have a have a discovery call, and we can learn more. So I want to take a moment and just say thank you. I want to thank everybody that comes in and goes. Um, Please just come in. And I thank you for joining tonight's session about strategic leadership. And as you plan your 2025, I want you to remember that true leadership combines foresight, and respect. Um, Foresight, and respect, and operational efficiencies. Now, I want you to do this, and then I want you to, and I would love to hear from you, right? I would love to hear if you have any questions. I would love to hear if you, have any, just anything that you want to say to me. I would love to hear from you. So feel free to message me, or use the link, I think that's in the group now. Use the link that's there, that is, submit some questions, because you submit your questions, especially if it's about strategic planning. I will make sure that we get these questions answered during these sessions, right? I want to make sure that I get those questions answered for you, because it's important to me that I answer those questions, because you are important to me and your business is important as well. So if you have questions, just go ahead and submit them. They'll be included in a future session. So don't forget that I'm here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, to answer your questions and support you on your journey. And for the next few weeks. We're going to be talking about strategic planning for 2025, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm excited about it as well. But I want to thank you for joining tonight's session, and I look forward to seeing you in the future, and maybe meeting with you. So have a wonderful evening, and